On LinkedIn. Hey LinkedIn friends, it's Jen. We are getting started with overcoming overwhelm. We've got Facebook joining us, and I am getting ready to set Instagram live as well. All right, I think we're all here. Hi Instagram friends, this is Jen Tarrant. We are live here on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and talking about overcoming overwhelm. As a busy professional, you probably have lots of things coming at you on a daily basis, weekly basis. A lot of those things, I'm going to guess, you're pretty well prepared for, right? You know your job, you know how to get things done, and really create that level of success that got you where you are today. And so those things are in place. You know how to get the job done. You know how to be successful. You know how to manage your day so that everything works like it's supposed to, nearly 100% of the time. But has there ever been a time when you got somewhere in the middle of your day and thought, oh my gosh, I can't right now. I am so overwhelmed. I mean, maybe it was an extra project that came your way that you didn't know, or someone called out sick and now you're trying to do your job and someone else's, or you've overscheduled yourself and you didn't even really realize that you had done it, but now here you are and you're trying to juggle too many balls all at the same time. It happens to all of us. Despite best intentions, we will either overschedule or mismanage time at some point, or just have too many things dumped in our lap all at once. And it can create overwhelm and not just stress. I'm not just talking about like, whew, that was a really stressful meeting, or wow, I've got a lot of email to answer. I mean, yes, those things can contribute. However, I'm talking about more than that. I'm talking about that deep overwhelm that can really creep up on us from time to time, depending on how things are going. So what I'd like for us to do is, if you have a piece of paper and a pen nearby, just jot down what are some things that your life would look like if you didn't have overwhelm. Let's just pause for a second. Here we are. It's Friday, either mid-morning or afternoon, depending on where you're joining from. What would your life look like if there was no overwhelm? Go ahead, take a second, write it down, really think about this. Would you feel less tired? Would you have more time to do the things you love? Would you feel less imposed upon by your responsibilities? Whatever it looks like for you, that is absolutely within your reach, and I'm going to show you how. Several years ago, I found myself the proud owner of 5 jobs. It was a crazy time in the life of my family, and due to circumstances, I had 5 jobs going for me all at once. And I'm telling you, just managing 5 email accounts was enough to send a person over the edge, and that didn't even include the actual work. You know what I'm saying? So I knew going into this season of life that I was going to really need to be super proactive about managing the risk of overwhelm and burnout. And I was very committed to it because I needed this to work in the long term, and due to the circumstances, it was imperative that I was able to manage the stress and the demands for the long term. So I sat out and created for myself a list of priorities, and it became evident pretty quickly what it was exactly that I needed to do for myself to be able to create a sustainable lifestyle that was even still enjoyable in the middle of it all. And so I brought all of those things into my own life. And then as I moved out of that phase of life, I was doing a bunch of administrative type of work, a lot of web design, copywriting, all kinds of those kind of things. As I began to move into being a yoga teacher, and then from there a yoga therapist, and then also adding in private clients who sought me out for things as maybe not small, but as contained as recovering from a surgery or an injury, or learning how to deal with anxiety or depression or even post-traumatic stress, the questions began to get a little deeper about how to create a lifestyle that lent itself to reducing overwhelm, reducing that fatigue, reducing all of the things that were eating away at them beyond what they sought out my help for. And so I began to incorporate these same 3 ideas with my clients, and they have been immensely successful, not just for me, but for the people I've worked with as well. So here they are. Hi there. I see people popping in. I am live on 3 platforms right now, so it's hard for me to keep up. But hi, thanks so much for joining me. And so the first of the 3 steps, it's going to be the 3 B's to overcoming overwhelm. And the first B is to breathe. I know if you've followed me for long, you've totally heard me talk about this multiple times. Breathing is so under-celebrated, and it is our instant gateway into relaxing. If we can pause for 30 seconds, even a minute, even more, obviously more benefit. Hi, Facebook friends, I see you guys popping in. Then we're able to let our nervous system calm down, let our mind calm down, and we're able to navigate through that next moment, even if the stress itself hasn't gone away. So the way this works is just establish any conscientious breathing practice. You don't have to have studied them or have 15 of them on laminated cards in your desk. Just breathe. Notice the breath. Then after you feel the breath moving through the body, take it a little deeper. A more complete inhale, a full complete exhale. This is a fantastic place to start and will get you results immediately. If you choose to breathe deeply and well for even just 30 seconds, it will completely change your brain space, I promise. So breathing is the first one, and it can rescue us right in that moment. So whenever you have the overwhelming feeling come on, maybe it even leads into a little bit of anxiety and you start to feel that bubbling up, or you notice that you have the crease in your eyebrows that just won't go away, or the pounding headache is starting to come on and things must be managed. Take a moment and breathe. This is something you can do at the desk, in a meeting, in the bathroom, in your car, anywhere, right? We don't even need any tools for this. Then as you recognize the benefits of the breathing practice in the moment, I invite you to look at incorporating a breathing practice as a proactive measure. Perhaps starting off the day with 2 to 5 minutes of intentional breathing. Again, it doesn't have to be fancy. 2 to 5 minutes intentional breathing. Do it on work days, do it every day, maybe just 3 times a week, but it will not go unnoticed in your body, your mind, and your nervous system. So that's the first one. Now just think back. You wrote down already what your life would look like if you did not have any overwhelm or that deep fatigue. And so if you incorporated breath into that scenario, or into your current scenario, can you see how it might get you a step closer to the end goal? No overwhelm, no frenetic, crazy, stressed out energy. I think that you probably can. And if not, just give it a try. I mean, what's it going to hurt, right? We're talking about breathing. So take that deep breath in the moment and discover what results you find. The second B is bedtime. Yes, the bedtime. It is so important to sleep well. Recently, I guess it's been a few years now, Ariana Huffington of HuffPost, she wrote a book called The Sleep Revolution. If you have not seen this book, I highly recommend it. It's a great read, really brings into perspective how, I kicked the desk, how vitally important that sleep truly is for us. When we function in a sleep deprived state, and so many of us do, it's as though we were either like on cold medication or even inebriated or functioning under the influence, because our brain does not process things as quickly. Our responses and reactions to things are